What's going on, everyone? Today we're exploring more of my home state of Colorado. This video will guide you through some of my favorite waterfalls to visit in the state. Colorado has 81 named waterfalls, much less than other similar mountainous states, but it has some incredible ones. But before we dive in, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. But without further ado, let's jump right in. This is my top 15 waterfalls to visit in Colorado. First up, we have Rifle Falls, a stunning triple waterfall located in Rifle Falls State Park. This half-mile loop trail has minimal elevation gain, making it an easy and family-friendly hike. The park charges a $9 daily entrance fee with options to camp here overnight if you'd like. The lush vegetation and caves behind the falls add to its charm, making it the perfect spot for photography and picnicking. The caves are a nice break from the heat if you're visiting in the summer, plus the kiddos will love them. The vibrant and lush greenery makes a serene atmosphere that makes this one of my favorite waterfalls in the state. It's just a short detour off of I-70, so if you find yourself driving between Grand Junction and Denver, you need to make this stop. Next, we have Seven Falls, located in Colorado Springs, but also close proximity to Manitou Springs. This series of 7 cascading waterfalls is accessible via a 0.8-mile round-trip hike with 220 feet of elevation gain. This is what the website will tell you. However, when we did it, we clocked in 2.25 miles with 500 feet of elevation gain. We did not take the mountain elevator, so we did hike up both sets of stairs, so you can eliminate some of the specs if you take the elevator. Entrance to the park costs $18 for adults and $10 for children. I highly recommend booking your visit in advance online because it can sell out, and then there is a complimentary shuttle service from the parking area to the falls, making it very convenient for visitors. And at night, the falls are illuminated with colorful lights, an experience that Bree and I will definitely have to come back for. Moving on to Telluride, one of the most iconic and well-known Colorado mountain towns, we have the beautiful Bridal Falls. At 365 feet, it's the tallest free-falling waterfall in Colorado, standing behind town as a picture-perfect backdrop. The hike to the base of the falls is 1.8 miles round trip with 1,200 feet of elevation gain. This moderate hike offers stunning views of the town of Telluride the entire way. And for the adventurous, there's also a Via Ferrata route nearby called the Kroger Via Ferrata. It's one of the few Via Ferratas in the country that allow self-guiding, so you can book a tour, or if you have the experience and the gear, you can do it on your own. The historic power plant at the top of the falls adds a touch of history as well to your adventure. Next up, we have Bear Creek Falls in Uray, which is easily accessible from the side of the road. This waterfall is often confused with a similarly named one in Telluride, so use a map to ensure you're heading to the correct location. The Bear Creek Falls I'm referring to is just a 5-minute drive south of downtown Uray. You can't miss it if you're driving south on the $1 Million Highway. The dramatic cliffs surrounding the falls create a picturesque backdrop that is perfect for a roadside stop. It's funny, Bree and I have actually driven past this waterfall multiple times before we ever knew it existed, because you can't see the waterfall from the road, but as soon as you pull off, you can see the massive cliffs and waterfall cascading into a beautiful green body of water below. Next up, we have a 2-for-1, and that is South and North Clear Creek Falls, which are incredible hidden gems to visit. These two falls are located on Route 149 between the towns of Lake City and Creed. To see the North Falls, you will park and just be a few steps away from the overlook, and then from here you can walk a few hundred feet to get to different vantage points of the falls, and then to see the South Falls, you'll drive 6 minutes south of the North Falls overlook, and then you'll have a 1/3 of a mile round trip hike with about 100 feet of elevation gain. These falls offer a serene and less crowded experience compared to other waterfalls on this list, making these falls the perfect spot for those looking to escape the hustle and bustle. I'd like to hop in here really quick and let you know about some of the other videos on the channel. Bree and I have been traveling for the last 9 years and have travel guides and top 10s from across the globe on our channel. But specific to Colorado, we have a top 10 travel and hiking guide to Pagosa Springs, Glenwood Springs, Breckenridge, Uray, Rocky Mountain National Park, the best alpine lakes in the States, and so much more. So hit that subscribe button and make sure to check some of those out. But moving on to number 6, we have Cascade Creek Falls, located between Silverton and Durango. This waterfall may be on the smaller side, but it's absolutely stunning, and the falls drop right into a bright aqua blue body of water below, and you're surrounded by cliffs in every direction. To get here from Silverton, it is a 30-minute drive just 20 miles south. The pull-off for the water is just before the bend in the road where Cascade Village Condos is located. Which, on a side note, we stayed at an Airbnb here and it was incredible, and it was just a 2-minute drive from this waterfall. We have been here a few times, and almost every time we've hiked the wrong trail initially and had to go back to the car and start over. So just know that if you follow a trail and end up on top of the canyon with a huge drop-off, then you're not in the right place. When you park off the $1 Million Highway, hike east along the dirt road and then take a right turn that will take you around the canyon wall. Then you'll descend along the wall right to the base of the waterfall. It's not more than a mile round trip from the car. Next up, we're heading to Quandary Peak 14er trailhead to hike Mulla Gulch. To hike Mulla Gulch, you are going to need a parking reservation because they just put a system into place a few years ago. You can get this on hikequandary.com. The half-day reservation is what they recommend to hike Mulla Gulch, but if you want extra time, it's worth paying extra for the full-day parking reservation. To start this hike, you will be hiking along a dirt road until you reach the old trailhead, and if you're lucky, as you're walking along the road, you might be able to catch the shuttle to shave off half a mile or so. Once you reach the old trailhead, from here it is 6.4 miles round trip with 1,600 feet of elevation gain. If you're unlucky and can't catch the shuttle, then this will be more like 8 miles with 2,000 feet of elevation gain. But it is worth noting that this is going to take you all the way to the end of Mulla Gulch, which will take you to an Alpine lake. And for purposes of this video, we're focusing on the waterfall, which you'll see long before you reach the end of the hike, and you'll be following a trail that goes alongside the waterfall for quite some time. The waterfall cascades for hundreds of feet, and then once you make it to the lake, you're going to have stunning views of the mountains, the waterfalls below, and the north face of Quandary Peak. At number 8, we have Zapata Falls, located near the Great Sand Dunes National Park, offering a unique and short hike to a waterfall just minutes from the sand dunes. This trail is a 0.9 mile round trip hike with 400 feet of elevation gain, and it leads you to a hidden waterfall inside a cave. The entrance fee is $11 per vehicle, and the icy waters at the falls provide a refreshing reward after the hike, especially on those hot summer days. The dramatic setting of the falls, tucked away in a narrow chasm, makes it feel like a secret treasure waiting to be discovered. When we visited, it hadn't rained in a while and we were worried that there may have not been a waterfall, but if you run into this like us, just keep hiking. The waterfall really is just tucked away deep in the canyon. You will have to rock hop or walk a few hundred feet in the riverbed to get to the falls. Next up, we're hiking Hanging Lake. The trailhead is smack dab in the middle of Glenwood Canyon off of I-70. This hike is going to take you to cascading waterfalls that all fall into a colorful blue and emerald body of water. The hike is 3 miles round trip with roughly 1,200 feet of elevation gain, but most of that elevation gain is going to be in the last mile of the hike. Due to the crowds, you are going to need a permit to hike this trail, but it's super easy to get this. Permits can be purchased on Visit Glenwood's website. Between May and October, they're $12 per person, and during November to February, it is $10 per person. Both options include self-parking at Hanging Lake Rest Area, which is the trailhead. If you're hiking this on a weekend during the summer, I would recommend getting the permit ahead of time, but on a weekday or off-season, you should be fine getting it last minute. Also, just a short walk past the lake is a waterfall called Spouting Rock, which is a beautiful waterfall that comes right out of the mountain. For number 10, just outside of Pagosa Springs, we have Treasure Falls, which is located on Wolf Creek Pass. It's just an 18-minute drive from downtown Pagosa. The waterfall is super easy to reach, and it's just off the side of Route 160. You can stop and enjoy the waterfall from your car from a distance, or you can hike right to the base of the waterfall with a 0.9 mile round trip hike with 220 feet of elevation gain. The falls themselves are 105 feet tall, and because it's on the side of the highway, this is a great place to visit that is accessible year-round so long as the pass is open. And if you're driving south after this waterfall, you'll find yourself in the town of Pagosa Springs, and I can't recommend enough that you should stop at the Springs Resort in town and soak in their beautiful geothermal hot springs. And next up, also in Pagosa Springs, we're going to be hiking to Piedra Falls, which is another family-friendly hike that's 1 mile round trip with about 100 feet of elevation gain. Any car can make it to the trailhead. We got here in my Toyota Corolla. It's a 1-hour drive from downtown, but it's mostly because some of the drive is on a dirt road. It's only a 30-mile drive. The drive is also really scenic, especially in the second half of the drive. The trail is beautiful, and on a hot day, it's the perfect place to take a dip in the water right below the waterfall. At number 12, we have Fish Creek Falls near Steamboat Springs. This is an accessible half-mile trail to the lower falls with 150 feet of elevation gain. You can see the lower falls from an overlook or from a bridge right below the waterfall, and if you would like to hike further, there's a more challenging 5-mile round-trip hike to the upper falls with 1,400 feet of elevation gain. The lower falls are particularly popular and offer great photo opportunities for little difficulty, and in the winter, the frozen falls become a popular spot for ice climbing, adding an extra layer of adventure to this waterfall. And a quick note, there is a $5 parking fee for this trailhead. Next up, we're heading to Alberta Falls in Rocky Mountain National Park, which is a short and sweet 1.6 mile round trip hike with about 200 feet of elevation gain. It's a popular spot that's a quick and rewarding hike amidst the beautiful alpine scenery in Rocky Mountain. It's great for families with kids. The falls are surrounded by towering pines and rugged rocks, and it's a waterfall that you can visit year round. Although I will say my favorite time to see this waterfall is in the summer because you can see it cascading down through the mountains, whereas in the winter it does ice over and gets snow on top of it, and it kind of blends into the riverbed, so it's much tougher to see in the winter. But this waterfall is also on a trail that continues on to a handful of other longer alpine lake hikes, so this is a great stop along any other hikes you might be doing in the park, in the Glacier Gorge area. Next up, we have Box Canyon Falls. This stunning natural waterfall is 285 feet tall and plunged into a narrow gorge. It's just a short hike from the town center and is a must-see for any nature lover. The falls are created by Box Canyon Creek, and the trail is an easy 0.4 mile round trip hike that includes a suspension bridge for unique viewing angles. There's a $5 entrance fee, but the powerful falls and unique geological formations make this a must-see in Colorado. The roaring sound of the falls echoing through the canyon is an awe-inspiring experience that highlights the raw power of nature. We visited this in the winter and there wasn't a single other person there. It was an amazing experience. Last but not least, our 15th waterfall on the list is Cascade Falls, also in Uray. This beautiful waterfall is located just on the outskirts of town and is easily accessible by car. The falls are created by Cascade Creek and it drops 140 feet into a narrow gorge. The sound of the rushing water and the mist from the falls will make you feel like you're in another world. It's a great spot for photos and it's very easy to access, so it's definitely something you want to do if you're in this area of Colorado. From the car, you're not going to walk more than a few hundred feet to reach the base of the falls, and it's also along the Uray perimeter trail, so you can see the falls if you're hiking that trail as well. And that wraps up this list of my top 15 waterfalls in Colorado. If you like this video and haven't already, please give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more travel guides and top 10 lists. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on another video.